Good evening and welcome back to the SmutNut book reviews. I want to first apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's been a really long time since I made a video, a good couple of weeks. I have had a lot going on. And I will not bore you with everything, but if you would like to know what's been going on, then visit my blog, SmutNut Book Reviews, at blogspot.com, and you can catch up on everything that's been happening with me. On some of the smaller details, I will say that I've been sick, I had a trip, I got a new job, so I've got a lot going on, and of course with reading, writing, and all of that, it's a lot happening, but I hope you guys will forgive me for taking so long to get back to you. I have missed you just as much as I hope you have missed me. So in the meantime, we will jump right into where we left off. I am still on the Shayla Black Wicked Lover series, thankfully, and I think it's a good thing because in about a week or two, we'll have another addition to the series, so maybe I'm wrapping this up just in time. But as a special treat for today, I will not just be doing this review, but you will also see two follow-up reviews for another Shayla Black Wicked Lover series, and I'm going to start another review series on another series that I've already read. So hopefully that'll make up for it. 3 videos in one day. I think it's great. So let's get into this one. Today's book is Mine to Hold. This is book 6 in the Wicked Lover series. Again, Mine to Hold by Shayla Black. It follows up the book 5, which I believe was Belong to Me. We told the story of Logan and Cherry, and now we are on to Tyler and Delaney. I will probably say this is my favorite book in the entire series. It runs neck and neck for my favorite book in the entire series. A quick review. If you don't remember who Tyler is the bouncer who worked with Alyssa. For those of you who don't remember who Alyssa is, Alyssa married Luke from books 2 and 3, Delicious and Decadent. That is Deke's cousin, and he had a brief, dalliance with Kimber, sister to Hunter and Logan. So we're tying it up pretty quickly, or we're bringing everybody into context. So now we're working on Tyler. This is his story, and it begins in a very I'm going to say interesting way. I thought it was really hilarious to me. The book opens up with Tyler. He is at his home, and he is sitting with every female character that we have gotten to know from our previous books. So we're talking Morgan, Kimber, Alyssa, Kata, and Tara. They are all sitting in Tyler's house, and they are having an intervention. And in this intervention, they are basically trying to get Tyler to figure out what he wants to do and settle down. Because Tyler has made a name for himself amongst the strippers at Alyssa's strip club as kind of a ladies' man. But to put it in blatant terms, as the way it is in the book, he screws every stripper in that place. And they have come to nickname him Cockzilla, which I thought was quite hilarious. But the problem is that he's bad for business. Strippers are crying and they're upset and they're cat fighting because everybody's fighting over Cockzilla. So they are trying to get him to settle down. Little do they know that the answer to their prayers is going to come walking through his front door in about 2.5 seconds. Delaney Catalano is a blast from Tyler's past, and kind of the reason why he's been dicking his way through everything. So it opens up, and the story starts immediately. Delaney is there. She has come a very long way to find Tyler and to get his help because someone's trying to kill her. And the problem isn't necessarily so much that someone's trying to kill her, but they have accidentally attempted to kill her son in the process. And this is Tyler's concern because her son is Tyler's son, and he's never met him. He is 18 months old, and he does not know that he has a son until Delaney lands on his doorstep with this child and this problem. And probably one of the reasons why I fell in love with this book is because Tyler doesn't shirk his duties. He doesn't even run. He doesn't even second guess that this is his child. He looks at the little boy and immediately knows he belongs to me. And he's pissed off, of course. He wants to know why haven't you told me about this previously? Like, my kid is 18 months old, and I haven't heard word one from you. But he understands to an extent that their story is a little complicated. And it becomes quite hilarious because she's looking for him to do one thing, which is to basically babysit this 18-month-old child that he doesn't know while she goes out there and fights the bad guys. Now, according to the story, Delaney is all of about 5'2", 5'3", maybe $125, maybe pushing like $135 or some change. She's not adept to fight bad guys, especially the kind that she's gotten herself involved with. But she seems to think that she can take them on better if she puts her child somewhere safe. Of course, Tyler is wholeheartedly in disagreement with her, and he thinks that she needs his help. But she argues him down about this, and then slips out in the middle of the night when she thinks his back is turned. Of course, Tyler knows her very well, and they have a very long history. So a little bit about their background is that Tyler used to be a vice police officer. So he worked for the LA police officer, the LAPD, in Vice, and he was partners with Delaney's husband. Delaney's husband was kind of a dick. He was not a good husband. He was not a good partner, and he got shot. And in a moment of weakness while he was recovering, he asked his partner and best friend Tyler to sleep with his wife. And it was supposed to be because it gives me something to look forward to remember what sex is. I never really quite comprehended that. Like, I got it, and Shayla Black paints a very vivid story, and you really get into it. But in my mind, I couldn't get past the fact that you're a husband asking someone else to sleep with your wife because you can't do it, and that's supposed to somehow motivate you to do it later. I never picked up on that, and I never got it, and it made him it made him a weak character in my mind, which is exactly how he was supposed to come across. But it kind of made him slimy in my book. Not to mention, during the scene as they are progressing into this, and Delaney and Tyler do agree, because he kind of baits them and guilts them into doing it. Basically, he tells Tyler, if you won't sleep with her for me, I'm going to get someone else who will treat her like crap to sleep with her for me, because I don't care if she enjoys it. This is for my benefit somehow. So I just want to see my wife get screwed, and either you're going to do it and make sure that she enjoys it, or I'll get someone else who just wants to screw her to do it. So they agree, and Tyler finds out in the midst of them, trying to work their way through this, that Delaney hasn't had sex in 6 months. And he's looking at his partner like, okay, I get that the last 3 months you've been shot and in a wheelchair, so unable to perform. But for 3 months before that, you weren't taking care of business because you were too busy screwing other women. And I know this because I'm your partner. And I kind of covered for you, but I didn't think that you were neglecting your wife to screw other women. So in him knowing that, and in him having a connection with Delaney, they have this kind of epic experience between the two of them. The problem is that as soon as they're done, they realize there's a third person there, and he goes batshit crazy. Like, he accuses them of having an affair. He accuses them of being in love with each other, because they basically just made love in front of him. And I guess that wasn't part of his plan. He wanted to watch sex, not intimacy. And so it gets a little ugly, and Delaney asks Tyler to leave, so that she can, I guess, try to work things out with her husband. But apparently that doesn't work. But not before her husband completely erases all her ability to contact Tyler, which is a very weak excuse, because yeah, you don't have his telephone number, but I'm sure you know where he lives. You guys have been friends for so long, you know how to reach out to him. So it was very tenuous, or it didn't make any sense for her to say, well, she didn't know how to contact him. Granted, once this situation with her and her husband imploded, Tyler quit the force. He started up his own private detective firm, and then he was on a case for so long that he just left. And he never came back when he didn't hear from Delaney. So he basically licked his wounds from that night and ran away. And Delaney never really tried to reach out to him. She was a little bitter and angry with the divorce, and because of course once she found out she was pregnant by another man, her shitty husband divorces her. Um, with a divorce and being pregnant and all of this stuff and getting kicked out of her own home, she became bitter, but now she needs him. So she turns to the only person she knows who can help her, and she tracks him down. She asks him for help in the only way that she thinks she knows how, which is to watch out for their son. And Tyler's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to just sit back and watch out for my son. I'm going to make sure that his mother comes back in one piece. And so he, despite her many objections, he comes along with her. And of course, his feelings come roaring back like they never left. And he kind of gets the idea that he has been biding his time. For 18 months, he hasn't seen her. And he's been biding 18 months. He's been screwing his way through women to try and get her out of his head. But it doesn't work because when he gets very, very drunk and he's alone, that's when he allows himself to think about her. Because it doesn't hurt as much. And he builds his routines behind things that he did even when he was with her, like Taco Tuesdays. And I know that sounds very mundane to everyone else because everybody else knows Taco Tuesdays, but in this book and in this text, it means a big deal to him because that's what he used to do when he still had her in his life. He would go to their house, he would have Taco Tuesdays, he would have movie nights. So these are still routines that he continues on even though she's not in his life anymore. And he pursues women that he knows he doesn't either have to have a serious relationship or he can never ever have a serious relationship with, i.e. Alyssa. He has been running behind Alyssa like a dog with a bone since the day he met her, but Alyssa gets it before he does. And she says, I get it. You pursued me because you knew you could never have me, but it gave you something to do to take your mind off of her. But now you have to decide, what do you want? Do you love her? Do you want to be with her? She's the mother of your child now. And he decides that he's all in. And that's one of the other reasons why I love this story, because there is no second guessing. There is no bravado. He sees her. He realizes that everything that he's been sitting around twiddling his thumbs with and for is basically standing in front of him. And he goes after it with a single-minded focus. And she's the one who basically has all kinds of trepidation, and rightfully so, because the man that she previously knew Tyler to be, he doesn't know commitment. He's the party guy. He has fun, and he's the guy that you sleep with for a good time, but he's definitely not father material, and he's not dad material. But in his head, it doesn't matter, because I am this child's father, you are this child's mother, and I want us to be together. And it takes her it takes a lot for her to break out of her cold shell and say, okay, I admit I do want you and I do want to be with you, but I'm scared. So I love this story. And in the midst of that, of course, they have a killer to find, someone who is out to kill Delaney because she's a reporter and she's stumbled onto a very huge story and somebody wants to shut her up about it. So they are traversing cross country to get her story printed, because as soon as they can get her story out into the open, the safer she is. She has hidden her flash drive at her old house with her ex-husband, and that provides a very dramatic scene. I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but the scene where she has to go to her ex-husband's house and find her evidence, and find all of the evidence that she has gathered, and confront her ex-husband with her baby daddy, it is jaw-dropping. It is one of the most, I don't want to say cringeworthy, but I was just flabbergasted. But it's very real. It's very well written. It's very, it takes you to a place that you kind of feel like, oh my God, you feel like you're a fly on the wall in the room watching this horrible scenario play out in front of you, but you can't look away. It's like a car crash. And the whole book is building up this trust. That's basically what the entire book feels like to me. It's slowly building your trust. Each character is building its trust in each other. Tyler is rebuilding his trust with Delaney because she basically ditched him. Like, yeah, you were married, but you kind of just kicked me out of your life. And even when you knew that you had a baby by me, you didn't search really hard to find me. And Delaney is figuring out how to trust Tyler to be someone that she doesn't know him to be. Yeah, I know you, but the guy that I know you to be, he's not really dad material. So you telling me that you want to be with me and you love me and this, that, and the other thing, I can't really trust that. Not to mention, she's had a baby. Her body is different. She's got, self-esteem issues. So this book touches on so many different areas that I feel like it really cemented itself in my heart. That's why I say it's one of my favorite books in the series. I loved how it played out. I even love the ending, and I'm not going to ruin it for you, but I think that Shayla Black definitely hit her stride with this particular addition to the series. Tyler's story was amazing to me. Like, I just felt like it was the perfect story. I never really got too upset with Delaney. I never really got too out of hand. And for anybody who reads new adult fiction, you know that sometimes when you're reading about these heroines, they can drive you insane. Like, they really do make you want to rip your hair out because they're so nonsensical. But Delaney was a down-to-earth. She was a very well written out, well thought out character, and I love that about this book. As I said, I love all of the books in this series, so I would highly recommend that anyone read them. But if I had to recommend one book in the series, it would probably be this one. It's action-packed, so I do think it's guy-friendly. On a scale of my SmutNut review, my SmutNut scale, I'm going to go ahead and give it, say, a 9. So Shayla Black definitely knows how to write sex. Some of the scenes were really, really hot. And the scene where they make their biggest breakthrough, it was really intense. Like, it was really intense. Like, I had to put the book down for a little while. Where he makes his biggest breakthrough with her to get her to understand that I'm not just screwing you because you're my child's mother, and I'm not just here because you're in danger. I still have feelings for you, and let me show you just how deep those feelings run because I'm tired of talking about it. Let me physically impart on you how much you mean to me. And it was intense but beautiful. I am going to wrap this review up. I would highly recommend that if you are going to pick up this series, start here. Actually, I recommend you start from the beginning, but if you're not going to start from the beginning and you just want to read a really good book, Mind to Hold is definitely one of the best in the series, hands down, to me. As I said, it is tied with maybe 2 other books, but there are so many in this series, you can always pick your favorite guy. Tyler is one of my top favorites. So I'm going to say goodnight, and hopefully you guys will tune in for the next 2 videos, and have a great one.